We're lucky to have her in Germany now, and she's heading our phone banking outreach efforts.
Thank you. I would first like to add my wow to everybody else's before me. This is amazing to see all of you in this room, to be in this beautiful room. But the hands that went up for people at your first meeting, welcome. And thank you in advance for everything that you're going to do for Democrats Abroad, for voters, for democracy in the world in 2020. Would also really like to congratulate Candace and Kenton and the leaders of the chapter. We did a really good thing electing you a year ago, and you guys are doing an amazing job. I'm certain that if you knew what it would take, you would never have run last year. And, yeah, thank you for doing it. All right, phone banking. Can I quickly ask, who in this room has ever made a phone call for Democrats Abroad? Woohoo! Thank you. So this you all know, but there's about half the people in the room who haven't yet. So next time we meet, probably every hand's going to go up. What is Democrats Abroad phone banking? Oh, I need to do that, don't I? Okay, quickly, what it is for the half that don't know yet. It's calling our members, those 10,000. Just heard about this exciting project to reach the other 110,000. But phone banking is calling our own members. It's using a website called Call Hub. The callers need a computer, the internet, and a headset. That's it. It's free to the person making the calls. It's free to the person receiving the calls, a member of Democrats Abroad. We're calling only people that have given us their phone numbers. That's critical. That's one of the reasons they like to hear from us, because we're not just cold calling. It does cost something, of course. The Global Democrats Abroad, DPCA, Democratic Party Committee Abroad, this is one of the really good things that they do for us, is they pay for the Call Hub program. And training and support on how to do it is really happily provided in your chapter, from somebody else who's made calls, at the national level from me as phone banking coordinator or other expert callers who are in the room. And then we have a global team, both for gotv, which is Get Out the Vote, and for Call Hub specifically. And I think we've got somebody in our room who's helping with that team as well. Are you helping yet, Matt? With the Call Hub global team?
Questions, not answering Call Hub questions.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Thank you, Matt, for doing that. Okay. Yeah, so that's what it is quickly. And then to add, I guess, important is, what is the message when we're making these calls? So somebody who's made some, really, there's a one-word message. What is it when we're contacting? Yeah. Thanks, Bobby. I mean, it's vote. That's the one word. But there are two parts of it. One is to make sure you go to votefromabroad.org. Whether you get your ballot or not, whether you're registered or not, we want people to go there to request the ballot every election year. And then part B, or the second part, would be, if you have any questions at all, there's a helpline at Vote From Abroad. There's a little bubble. You put your question in, and one of our experts gets back to you right away. So there are going to be different scripts when you go in to make phone calls, but that's the message. That's it. If you need to leave a message and you hear that other thing beep in the end, you got two things to say. Vote From Abroad, and if you need help, you can ask your questions there. All right. Why do we make these phone calls? Callers? Why did you make calls? Somebody yell something out before I hit the arrow. Quay. Exactly. Why? I mean, this is it. This is our mission. We call people, they vote. There's a few steps in between there, but we know, we look at our database, people who have received a phone call are tagged, and they are the same people that are using Vote From Abroad. Do we know if they're voting? No. Do most people? I mean, your chances of voting are much better if you have gone through to fill out the thing. Then we hope you mail it or email it and you get the ballot. You're on your way if you get a phone call. About 3 times more likely to use Vote from Abroad if you're tagged in our database with getting a call. Here's some other whys. Quade had it. It is one of the best ways to reach our members. Think of all of the wonderful events that we've had described already, or that maybe you've gone to, or maybe you haven't because you're new. How much of our membership is ever going to attend an event? We've got 10,000 members. What's the biggest event we've ever had anywhere? Yeah, no, we've had hundreds turn out for marches in Berlin and Munich, but we're never going to reach, more than 80, 85, 90% of our members, but we can reach them with phoning. We did reach them in 2018. We will reach them in 2020. It is meaningful and manageable work for volunteers. You're all here because you want to do something. There are many other hundreds of thousands of our members that want to do something in Germany, and this is something they can do from home, in a group, whatever, and it makes a difference. So we need to give them this opportunity because they want it. It updates the database, helps Susan and whoever her successor will be, and all of our chapter leaders, to make sure that the information that we have about voters is up to date, because there's a little thing in the script and you click on some buttons to either verify that the data is up to date or to make some corrections. You can call from just about anywhere that's got internet and just about any time. You can't call in Germany at midnight, but once we get going and you see the campaign lists that are on Call Hub in the Democrats Abroad section, if you want to make calls because you're jet lagged like me right now at 2 a.m., you can call Toronto, you can call Mexico, you can call other country committees at whatever time works for you. It builds community. It certainly does. If you're calling in your own locality, you're going to make lots of connections with people. Oh my goodness gracious, that was a bell. I'm done. All right. I'm not done, but I'm going to go really fast. I'm not going to pay much. Okay, you can make a few calls, many calls. All right, I must have something in these next slides that are important. This one's really important. Who makes these calls? We figure with our need to call in 2020, we're going to need about 170 callers. We had over 80 last year. That was about 10 times as many as we had the year before. We did a great job. The question really was, what did we do in 2019 and 2018 that worked? We trained and had people calling, 80 of them. We made 125% of our calls. We built a foundation in 18. We called, we won in 18. Did anyone notice that? Do you remember how we won in 18? We built a foundation of sustainable teamwork that's really going to do us well in 2020. But we need more people calling. We have people signing up all the time, both nationally and locally. And this year, already, we've got a good start on this, but we are going to get a phone banking coordinator in every chapter. We have 9 already. We need 3 more. And those phone banking coordinators are going to be recruiting people. They're going to be troubleshooting. They're going to be triaging if questions, go beyond them. And so the phone banking coordinators who are here, would you please stand up? I know Vivian is here from Kaiserslautern. Right back there, Vivian. Who else is here? Susan is here from Munich. Susan, everybody knows you. You just were here. She's out at the volunteer table. And Modesta, you're here, aren't you, from Münster? Thank you. I haven't met some of these others we've talked, but it's Teresa in Berlin. Is Teresa here?
It's now Mahima.
Oh, we've met. We TOEFLed together yesterday. Where are you?
She's outside.
She's outside. Great. So we have somebody from Berlin here. Chris and Nina from Cologne are not here, right? But they're doing it. Deval from Frankfurt? Not here. Ali from Hamburg?
Not here.
Okay. Chris from Heidelberg? No? Okay. Vivian, we talked about Susan, Modesta, and Christy from Stuttgart. All right. Well, as you see, 9 chapters, have phone banking coordinators. We need 3 more in order to really get the job done and to, be sustainable. Then we need to make sure that every chapter continues to be active and is letting people make calls. Okay. Yeah, what else is important here? What's different? This, I will go quickly. Many of you may have made calls in the United States. It's very different to call for Democrats abroad. In the US, people hang up on you, don't answer their phone, are getting 10 or 15 calls a day during campaigns. Our members are getting usually one call an election year. You don't have to train your phone bankers to keep people on the phone so you can get the information to them. You have to train your phone bankers how to get off the call because people want to keep talking to them. And they appreciate it. Okay, look only at the yellow columns. These are not headed because you're supposed to be curious looking at it, but I will tell you. The first column is the number of members in the chapter as of September 1st. This is out of date, thank God. More members everywhere. The second column is 87% of that number, the first number. That's the people in the database that have phone numbers. We only have about 87% of our members have a telephone number in the database. So that's the number of contacts we want to make. But the yellow column is the number of calls that we need to reach those people. Usually it takes 2 or 3 calls to get to them individually. So that's the calls we want to make, and that means for Germany, about 25,000 calls. Does that seem like a lot?
Yes.
Over 9 or 10 months with 170 people calling, that's only about 50 calls per person. It takes you about 1 or 2 minutes to make a call. That's nothing in a 2020 election year. It's really doable, and when we finish our calls, we'll start helping to call in Latvia and Lithuania and our neighbors who haven't finished their calls. Calling works. Okay, thank you to everybody who's made a call. Thank you to everybody who's going to make a call. Make 5 calls, because then you'll know the system and you can encourage other people to call in case you can't keep going. But guess what? If you make the 5, you'll keep going. I'm not saying everybody should call, but I don't know why you wouldn't want to.